already. Thank you. Let's get things set up. Hello, hello. Happy Halloween in Zwift. It's too much fun.
Playing around with Reaper earlier. It's too much. It's too much.
Just playing around with Reaper earlier, which is the voice software. A lot of fun stuff you can do. So I can see some people have witches hats on. There's a few Frankensteins, monster Frankenstein. That's correct, yeah. And I wonder how they get it. If you do a lap. Thanks. So, I think it was 3 days ago, I switched the date on the computer to Halloween and did some laps. and I can see that there's pumpkins. So I wonder if after this is over, if I keep the date on Halloween, I'll still see him. So I keep seeing screen flashes. I'm not sure why. That's something that normally happens in game. Maybe pedestrians taking photos, spectators, or if it's Halloween related. That. I need to figure out how to get the witch's hat. Ooh, I'm getting some more fans on. It's a little warm. I have it cooler in here today. I had the windows open. So I think it's down to 68 in here. But the computer puts out a lot of heat. The first time I went through the tunnel, I thought it'd be a good spot for some graffiti, like the design team to put their name. I'm just keeping an eye on my heart rate. Yesterday, I sat at like 190 talking. I just want to make sure it's not high today. And I do have iced water, too. But yesterday, I was sitting at 320 watts, which is 5 watts per kilogram. And I think I started out at like 180 beats per minute. And it kept creeping up and up and up. And the last few minutes, I was just 190. And 190 is higher than what I time trial at. And normally I'm cross-eyed. But during that effort, I was chatting on stream. So, maybe that tells me not to freak out when I see my heart rate when I'm outside. I was able to sit at high power even though it was through the roof. I think normally I would back off and, oh, I'm having a bad day. But it was a steady effort I was able to hold still. So I'm gonna see maybe the temperature in the house. Maybe that played an effect. Maybe not having a bottle of ice water. The nice thing about being here is I can test in a controlled environment, one thing at a time, and see. Oh, maybe it's this, maybe it's this. Outside, it's a lot of other factors. Weather, people, cars, traffic, stops. The heart rate looks normal-ish. We'll see. Hey, how are ya? Have you rode in the Halloween Adventureland yet? I don't know where it's at. I don't know. Do you know how to get it? So was it, yeah, it was on your head when you logged in. Huh. I don't have a hat on my head. Maybe I can put my, my helmet on. Let me check. Hey, you're awesome, thank you. Oh my goodness. So, which one today? Thank you. I like the nose on this one. Nice, nice. I'll be a monster today. I wish they had like a zombie too.
So I can eat brains. Oh.
That worked out well. Alright. So, was that on Strava? 2 different intensity factors? If you have one computer with a different FTP, it'll read differently, even if it's the exact same power. So how close were the powers on the 2 computers? Were they the same or were they different? So Jonathan Levi on Strava, and it's set to private. But I approve everything. You can try. I don't think the pictures come through. Okay. Maybe if you have a link, I'll be able to see it that way. Okay. So, like, within 5%. Did one of them have higher peak powers? I do the same thing. Oh, today's an easy ride. There you go. So I think on the other kicker that I have, the Gen 2, this is 3, was the cadence made a little bit of a difference. Seattle. I'm from Seattle. So if you're trying to look for me on Strava, just make sure you spell the name right. It's O-N. Huh. A lot of evergreen trees, mountains and snow, coffee. I think we have these little coffee shacks on like every corner. It's like a closet with a window. So it's pretty easy to get coffee anytime. And something we found out when we moved here is not all of them are wearing shirts and pants. So I'm trying the cinematic view today. A little bit of variety. I was trying to see where on course there's good kind of camera spots, just so I can record a loop for a background. So, someone just sent a follow request. I approved something. Was that you? Awesome. I don't even look, I just approve them. So I don't know why I have it set to private, just maybe so I have the control. Yeah. So I was doing it before because my my list of KOMs, you know, if it's not private, you can click on me, click on the KOMs, and see everything. So, I think to hide my my power profile, I was doing that. Me too, me too. Do you have a certain length that you like to go for? I'm no good at anything downhill. So uphill or with a tailwind and
Perfect.
So the shorter ones, like less than a minute, I don't care for as much. Just because like 1 second difference on a 30-second KOM is a few miles an hour faster. So whoever gets it first, you know, to beat them by a second, it's exponentially harder. So like 2 minutes to 5 minutes, I like. So how long is that for you? Isn't that an hour or something? I think for me, the longest I've gone for uphill, maybe like 6 minutes. We have a lot of short climbs here. I do want to try Hurricane Ridge, which is like this direction for me. And take a ferry across the water, up the Olympic Mountains. I think it's an hour KOM, and Levi Leipheimer like was just here and went up it and took it. Wow. I'm not sure if I know of any in the area. Maybe, because we have Mount Rainier. Maybe there's something that's long? So, like 13 miles? 12 to 13 miles? That must be steep then. I think Hurricane Ridge is 20 miles, like 4,000 feet. So for me, if I were to do Hurricane Ridge, it would be a 1 hour effort. So 21 kilometers would be like 12, 13 miles. Yeah, okay. Ah! So there's one climb that I've done that kicked my butt, in Georgia, and it's Brasstown Bald, and it's like 2 or 3 miles long, and it's like 2,000 or 3,000 feet of elevation. It's just straight up. I think what they did was they climbed the mountain, and they poured asphalt down the side, and they called it a road. I believe that's Brasstown Bald, highest elevation in Georgia, I believe. And we had a race tour to Georgia for a race, and they would finish up that after 100 miles. And so you would have pro riders come by with puppy dog eyes. And some of them didn't know English, but they knew how to say, "Push! Push!" Because they were done, they didn't care. You know, if they get caught, they get time penalties. But the race is over. Like, they're just trying to finish, and their teammates are up the road. There was 2 riders coming up, and one of them, no push, no push. And the rider behind him was like, yes, push, push. And there was a group that pushed that rider past him. I don't know if that's allowed, but they wanted it. Tell me more. Is it telling you you can't send that many messages? I'll check right now. Optional features. Okay, so I turned off block spam messages. Give it a go, see if that does anything for you. Send a bunch. So I can't see the screen in Zwift right now, but I know I'm going up that escalator. I can feel it. It's the only thing that it's that steep all of a sudden. Is it working better for you? Is it telling you no? So, maybe Twitch or Mixer, and I believe the link is below the video in YouTube. The next race? We'll see. I was actually wanting to do the Zwift, the US Crit Series, but I work Monday nights, and I think for me it would start at 7:30. But my wife did that yesterday, So if I hop into a race, it'll be one with a big field. Happy Halloween, Katie. How are you? What I should say is...
Happy Halloween.
So I do. For me, the season here in Washington starts at the end of February. And it's cold, it's wet, it's rainy, and we get I think the most registrations during that season. And as it gets warmer and nicer and sunnier, like June, July, we stop having races. And like it just started getting a little bit colder and wet. So I think this year, I'm looking forward to Tour de Bloom. There's an opening road race on Friday. We got to go up US 2. They closed the road. It's in a canyon alongside a river. And on top of the climb, we did a loop. And in one of the fields, there was a helicopter. And it kind of lifted out of the field. And everyone was watching it like we were impressed to have this helicopter right next to us. And it took off. And the next corner, there it was again. And it kept kind of snaking through the roads, getting to the next viewpoint. And we had a follow helicopter, we found out. That was for promotion video to promote it for next year. That's what I believe. We did have a follow truck, a lead truck with a camera rig, like the big stabilized rig. And that's like the opening race. We come back down the mountain and we finish in this Bavarian village themed town. The next day, we climb up, it's like a 4-mile hill climb. And I was thinking when I saw the registration, okay, we have a time trial. It's 4 miles uphill. And they actually do it as a mass start event. I was trying to figure out what's my start time. Everyone had the same start time. So, I like that. I like the time trial where you get to see how well you're doing. I really want to do one of those in Zwift because you can see where you are. In real life, you do a time trial and you cross the line and you can see your speed, your time, but you don't know if it's any good. But a mass start hill climb, you know at the top, you're the first one to finish and if you got it or not. So that night, there's a crit race in town, and it's a good course. I like the course. Long straightaway, left turn uphill, left turn across the top, long straight, left turn down the hill, left turn back onto the main straight, and it's smooth. You know, it strings out after you get up to the top of the climb, and you're still kind of spread out going into the start-finish. And so it's a bit safer. And the next day, it's mostly flat, kind of rolling hills. And there is no protection from the wind. And typically, it is brutal. Brutal. So the last year that I did it, it was a sprint to get to the crosswind section of the course because of how bad the crosswind was. And whoever was in the front, you know, they could pull as hard as they wanted to in the gutter, and they weren't giving anyone a draft. And everyone did that. I think 7 minutes into the race, a lot of people just, like, they're done, I'm done. I was done 7 minutes into the race. And had a little group. I didn't turn back. Kept going. I'm just gonna finish. And our group caught the front group. But we had to do 4 laps, and every time it would split up into little groups. And each time, like, it got a little bit easier because everyone was tired. It's a good mix of events. And the promoter, I think his name is Ace, absolutely incredible, will come up to everyone. How was the race? What did you like? You know, what should we change for next year? And we'll sit and chit chat because he loves what he does. So, what kind of feedback are you looking for? You need to go? Okay. Thanks for joining. That's late. Have a good night, and I'll see you around tomorrow. Katie, are you still here? You getting ready to Zwifty, huh? Thank you. So that is a, I have rotor twin power cranks, and there's a Windows app, and it'll show you a lot of features. Because rotor has the Q rings, the oval Q rings, and in order to set them up, you'll use the app, and it'll suggest a position. So I pull the torque feedback, and I'm overlaying it. So I've never been able to watch it before, you know, on On the Garmin, I can't see that. But if I'm pedaling like nice smooth circles, I get feedback now instantly. Or if I'm making peanut shapes, I know I'm not pedaling well. I can do like one leg. It's kind of like having MS Paint and Zwift at the same time. So when I first got in game today, I didn't have a Halloween mask. And I wasn't sure why, because I was seeing other people. And someone told me you have to put a helmet on. And the different helmets are the different masks. So the other helmet would be the witch hat. Like that. So it seems like they do fun stuff for the different holidays. I wish I would have had a chance to ride the trike, the little kid's bike.
Happy Halloween!
It's too much fun. So with the power peanut, I can also see, if I'm doing a long, steady effort, if I'm starting to get tired, does it show on the power peanut? You can actually see every time I shift, the power peanut would jump. So I normally just have it in the third-person view camera. The first time seeing all the different camera angles that Zwift has programmed. I'm looking for one good angle that doesn't show the rider in the shot, so I can record a loop or another wallpaper. I pulled the top off the goo and it went into the fan. I keep saying I need some double-sided tape just so I can stick the wrappers to things. We got a lot of fans here and it keeps blowing around. I like what they did for Halloween. I logged in early with my computer date set to October 31st, and I could see the pumpkins, but I couldn't see the witch or Frankenstein. So maybe if I would have put a different helmet on, because the different masks are set for the different helmets. So I wonder when they update and add Halloween, thank you Sue, when they add Halloween and different little fun features, if I could change the date to the last event, if I'll still see it, or if they take it out of the code every time. So I will switch it back to Frankenstein. When I first logged in, this is all I saw, and I was wondering, like, what did I do? Why don't I have the Halloween stuff? But all you gotta do is put on a helmet. Yeah. So you must be chatting on YouTube. I didn't see it on my in-game, my OBS screen. I can see it up here, but not on the secondary that I have. And it logged out. There's a lot of things to keep track of. I'm finding out when streaming. So right now there's 3 worlds. There is London, that we're in today, Richmond, which no one rides, and Watopia. And you don't have a choice. The map changes on its own. But you can download a secondary app that'll change it for you. Or you can change the code. It's one line of code. So, John Mayfield, one of the creators, said they're working on being able to pick whatever world that you want, I believe. But this runs on PC, Mac, and iPhones. They're working on Android. And it's been difficult for them to get everything to work across all platforms. And they said once they get the iPhone to work and get the bugs worked out, then they'll push that everywhere else. I think it was last week we had Watopia like 8 days in a row. This week, it's London 3 days in a row. Huh. So what do you have right now? Do you have it set up? So Zwift will work with any bike and almost any trainer. There's my wife Katie up here. And she typically has bad connection at work and on the bus. You can watch me when you get home, Katie. So, something else you can do is reconnect. There's smart trainers, and so like right now going up this hill, I can feel the hill. You can do olive oil on the floor. My wife Katie will just hold my handlebars, and I'll peel out, and that's the no trainer option. I'm checking stuff in the background just to make sure that everything is working. So are there other trainers that you've looked at? Now we have a Wahoo Kicker. We have our bike set up on. My mom actually has one as well. Yeah. You might be able to get a bike, like a new one. They start at about 1,000. You can get used ones for probably $300, $400, $500. Maybe I should ask first how much the watt bike Atom costs. It's definitely fun to have new things rather than old stuff, someone else's that you gotta fix and figure out for the first time. It makes it easier to troubleshoot when you have a warranty and a receipt. So if you were to import it into the UK and you had any issues, it might be a pain to send it back out to get anything fixed. I'm trying to find the price right now. I'm curious. I've heard a lot about it. Whew. $2,000. So you could get, I'm trying to think, for $2,000. There's some cheaper power meters out there. I don't know if I would trust too many used power meters. There's a lot of new ones that I don't trust. Wow. So you could get a Wahoo Kicker Snap. I don't know what the price is for you, but here it's $600 US. You could get a relatively new bike, probably for $600 US. And that would be your power meter, trainer, and bike for $1,200 US. So with a, I don't know if you'd want to ride outside after trying Zwift. I barely want to ride outside now. This is so much fun. But if you get a bike, you could take it outside if you want to. I think the Tax Neo is the same price as the Wahoo Kicker in Europe. Like here, The Neo is like $1,500, and the kicker is $1,200. We're actually waiting for the kicker climb to come out so we could start to feel the hills. I put in a little bit of effort today. Just a little bit. What I like about the power peanut is the peanut shifts when I stand up. Oh. So, do you just need a magnet? When I had magnets for my sensors, I had like so many spare magnets. Just because if I bumped it, knocked it off, and I showed up to a ride, I wouldn't know my speed. So I always had like a spare one stuck to the car. So my wife takes the bus into work. You know, it's pretty nice here in Seattle to be able to do that. It gives you some time to read or just play with your phone. And she always loses internet for some reason, so she has to read. She's sending me little sad faces. Won't load. So, some power meters, like the SRM, required an external magnet. The twin power cranks that I have, I think it has like an accelerometer or something. You don't need a magnet attached to the bike. The I don't know where the wheel are. Those are. The power tap hubs that I have, they can they have a magnet I think built in, and they can tell wheel speed. And from the power pulses, they can guesstimate cadence as well. So I like to have a nice clean bike, nothing zip tied to it. Just because if you have something zip tied or velcroed, like it'll eat away at the paint just over time. I've actually had this bike for 10 years, and it looks new. So the old power tap and the old cycling computers, you'd have to run cables. There was like the BMW has a shark fin on the back. You had to have a wired shark fin to the back of the bike, a little plastic sensor, and you'd have to lean it in to almost touch the power tap hub, like a millimeter or two, and that wasn't as it to act as a cadence magnet or a speed magnet. That was so it could transmit. And you had to zip tie everything all over the bike. So when the power tap, the 2.4 gigahertz wireless power tap came out 10 years ago, I was on the wait list. And that was my my first power meter. So I want to say that we've come a long ways. You know, we don't have to have a sensor a millimeter away from the device. But it seems like everyone on a smart trainer has to buy a USB powered hub with an extension to put the Amp Plus dongle up against the trainer. So not much has changed. But now we're just indoors doing it. So new cadence sensors, you can get like rubber band strap-on cadence sensors. And you don't have to have a magnet with it as well. So when you're going through workouts, when you back out, Zwift shouldn't ask you if you want to discard. Because I'm not discarding. So, bigger gear, there's more speed. But you have to look down to see what gear you're in. I think Nathan actually doesn't ride with a cadence sensor. Nathan Guerra. So for him it's like he knows what it feels like. And he doesn't want to see that number, I think. But I like seeing all my numbers. Just to make sure I stick to endurance, I'm gonna set the workout up so I can follow along, chit chat. So there's some riders, pro riders, that they don't want to know their power in a time trial. Are you talking about how the font has some issues and they overlap? Or are you talking about the how many screens you can have on the Garmin? Let's see what I have set up on my screen. Four. So I can do 10 on the Garmin, but they start to get kind of small. So I actually do 3-second power, 10-second power. I've been doing speed lately, heart rate, calories, time of day, temperature. That's weird, normally I don't have speed on here. Trying to remember. Must have been for a KOM I was going for. Otherwise, it's all about power for me. I just going into the power numbers. Speed doesn't matter because there's headwinds and tailwinds and hills. And if I'm training, I focus on power. There's a lot of witches' hats in that group ride. So normally, I try and double record just to make sure the power meter is the same as the smart trainer. Because I use the smart trainer for the power source in Zwift, and I don't want it to be high at all. Like, it's 1 watt difference. So Katie's kicker reads 10 watts higher for me at 300 watts, and I don't want that. I'm gonna try and bring my cadence up. I'm sitting a little low. I used to ride around at like 75. I don't know how I used to do that. Like my FTP test average would be like 70 RPM. Katie actually rides at like 120 during her FTP test. I'm like, it's not a sprint. Nice and easy. It's 20 minutes. You keep it together. Do that. Trying to do nice circles. Katie, how do you do this? I'm only at like 105, 110 RPM. So I love the new lights, the new streets, restaurants, and shops. Things to look at. There needs to be enough roads that you can get lost in game. I want to be able to go on an adventure, explore. So right now for London, we have a loop with flat roads, a loop with a hill, and you can combine the two. Oh, nice, nice. Did it have a like a speed camera that told you how fast you were going? Because every now and then I see those, and it'll pick me up, and the goal is to break the speed limit. So we have some trails here, and they have the speed warnings. And I think it's like 10 or 15 miles an hour. They put it in a weird spot though, because it's just after a stop sign on the trail for bikes. And so if you're on the bike, you're not going to get up to cruising speed in a short amount of time. So the trick is to run the stop sign. You need to face it the other way. You can have a leaderboard and see who can get the highest score of the day. I mean, that's what it's there for, right? Welcome back, Katie. So today was nice and easy. Just taking a stroll through London, checking out the pumpkins, wearing my Frankenstein mask. So every now and then I get to I get to say Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Maybe throwing a laugh. My ice water is no longer icy. You're right. Thank you so much, Katie, for the suggestion.
Happy Halloween!
That's fun, thank you. Check it out! I set high goals for myself. I think according to Zwift, today is the start of my week. Because it's only counting this ride. I did ride yesterday. So maybe I should have the workout shield in orange as well. But I don't know how long I can hold that for. So, what do you mean by that? Do you have, like, are your brakes, you have to brake earlier? What kind of brakes do you have? What kind of drivers do you have? Is everyone stopping at the last second? I do have some Halloween candy over here. But I've had that for a few months. I keep chipping away at the triple chocolate Kit Kats. Yeah. So what about the cables? So I see a lot of bikes that have like full cables, or just the cables have a lot of stick to them. There's people who I race with, and I'll squeeze their brakes, and with no wheel, it's hard to pull. Now we hosted some people there staying the night, and I re-cabled the bike for them. I was like, I can fix this. Because one thing I have a lot of is cables and housing. And that can make a lot of difference. Now, if you have carbon wheels, good luck with braking. I'm excited to eventually have a bike with disc brakes. I love all the Halloween masks. Oh, that one is scary now. I want that bike. So, I actually took off the, one of my chain rings. I have a single ring now. I want a bike with disc brakes, an aero bike, and that bike just fits perfectly. That's what I'm looking for. The other bike, the 3T Exploro, I really wanted to buy that. The one thing that I didn't care for was it has, I think it's called post mount brakes, and the new standard is the flat mount on road bikes. The little nitpick would be just where the cables go into the top tube, but I think that would be it. You know, if it came into the side of the head tube, I think I would like that look. I would totally buy that bike as is. And there's not much like it. Like, it's a race bike. And the Strata, incredible, incredible. Like, I'm waiting for the announcement that SRAM has 12 speed, 12 by 1. So I would hop on that right away. I guess the other nitpick is the frame is $3,000 for the basic and $4,000 for the team edition. So maybe if it was just the frame and I could take the group set off of my Pinarello, I would hop on it. So erg mode worked a lot better that time than before. It used to be pedal harder, pedal softer, pedal harder, pedal softer, and it would have troubles reconnecting. And it was easier just to, I think, pause the workout, and then get off, and then unpause it after you get back on, because it would reconnect instantly. Or you could also restart the workout and skip ahead, and it would connect instantly. Otherwise, you would you'd be sitting trying to get it to reconnect. I'm glad they fixed that. So this is a simple workout that I programmed just so I can stay endurance and have just a little bit of variety. So I wonder, I guess I haven't really been paying attention. Has it been night the whole time in game? Is this the Halloween Halloween feature? Spooky? Those pumpkins. We got pumpkins a little bit placed a little everywhere. I want to see a pumpkin head. I think last year we had the characters were skeletons. Green, glowy skeletons. Oh, so this section of the hill in a race, I was on the front going hard, playing around, and Tim Cartwright attacked, and I had nothing. So I know if I race this course, I need to save it. Play it smart. Sit on wheels. How are ya? Welcome home. Are you allowed to be home right now? Yeah, it's 7. Haha. I like that I can switch between the main view. Hide the camera for a second. Say hi to Katie. Welcome home. So I wonder if this guy wants to hang out. Or if he's gonna sprint up those stairs to the bottom of the hill. Heart rate is better today. Yeah. It's like 145. And I'm doing endurance. No. That's normal. Hi. Yeah, 190. Yeah, for me, to sit at 190 and talk, I don't know what's going on. And it wasn't a blip, I was sitting there. So the highest in a race on Zwift, I think I saw like 193, but I can hit 200.
Is that normal?
I would expect to see higher. But maybe it's because I finished the race, crossed the line, and Zwift power isn't working anymore, and my heart rate keeps going up. So I think I can finish. Oh, pizza. Oh yeah, we could order one.
I'll go down.
If you can go down, yeah. What? No, no. So, Katie always says, or I tell Katie, if you order a pizza, no, she's gonna go down and get it And last second, I always throw on some pants, run down, and get it first. And then I worry, like, oh god, she's probably still downstairs, waiting to find the pizza guy. And her phone's up here, and I can't call her. And I'm starving, so I'm gonna start eating pizza. She'll figure it out. I'm never that mean. So I think that's Hawaiian barbecue. That's right. Yeah, no, you can put your people on.
Oh, that's funny.
Katie's getting pizzas ready. She's gonna order Papa John's pizza. There's a Hawaiian barbecue that I really like. Papa bless. That lady just walked through that barrier. Just straight through. And I don't think that's a Halloween thing. I think if we sit here long enough, we'll see some pedestrians clipping through the walls. Oh, here we go. Spooky. Spooky, spooky. I love the cadence. Whenever I start riding again, the Wahoo kicker. I don't know if they call it cadence. The heart rate is the ticker. The cadence sensor always freaks out when it's trying to reconnect. So I have a new bike coming, and I'm excited to see how fast it feels on the Wahoo kicker. I think that's one thing. Zwift will get a lot more people riding, but there'll be less need to I'm going to buy a little bit lighter component here and there. You know, people are going to be addicted to being in game, socializing. And it'll be less about what actual bike you're riding. That being said, I do put my carbon front wheel on when I'm on the trainer, so I feel faster. I do believe, because the wheel is more aero, it helps with the fans. Yeah, you gotta go through a lot of the Papa John's coupons to find one that works. Here's try mod, easier on the computer too. So it takes longer to find a coupon for half off Papa John's than it does for them to make it and deliver it. But there's always coupons out there. Most of them just don't work. So, yesterday, I was sitting at, it's 5 watts per kilogram, 320 watts. And I was chatting. My heart rate was through the roof. Last week, it was like 4.9 watts for an hour. I was running just a little bit late for work yesterday, so I had to cut it short. Not my heart rate being so high. But I'm gonna keep doing that every week. An hour of power. And I'll add 10 minutes. I'll raise the power. Just to get ready for race season next year. 30%? We're getting closer. Trying to get the Papa John's coupons. 30%. I set high goals for myself. 2 hours. 30% closer. So you're not from Korea, are you? There's the Korean fan death. Is the belief that if you leave a fan running in the room, that it'll take the oxygen out of the room and it'll suffocate in the middle of the night. So if you buy a fan in Korea, they all have a timer. I'm not sure if you can leave it on or if it's required to have a timer because of that belief. I believe the fan that I had in my hotel room in Korea had the timer. So I'll do the 20 more minutes of the workout and a 10-minute cool down. And hopefully we'll have pizza by then. You get it? Oh yeah. Soon. think that's David. Thank you, David. The counter doesn't always work, or once it didn't work, and I manually refresh it now, just to see. How's the coupon search? Wah wah. Katie, I'm getting hungry. And
You don't want to see me when I'm hungry.
so they have tested Zwift with a Oculus Rift, and it works. But the problem is, there's no ventilation in the goggles. And so, to do a ride, it's $600 a ride, because they would ruin a goggle every ride. So I would definitely want to be able to look behind me, to have that sensation, to figure out, you know, where people are. So, like right now in game, when I'm racing, I have the mouse programmed to look back so I can see what's going on. You know, I can look at the rider list, but to judge gaps, I want to look behind me. You know, if it's a big field, I might have 8 riders on my wheel, and that's as far back as I can see on the rider list. But it might be a gap, and then another group behind, and I'll need to push that gap. I haven't tried VR yet. I do want to try it. So back in 2011, 2012, 3D TVs were coming out, and I went from store to store to try them, and it didn't look good. And eventually I asked a sales associate, why do all the demos look terrible? And he told me it's because, you know, this is Best Buy. We have the glasses out, and people squeeze the lenses, and they get them dirty. and he pulled out a new pair of lenses, had me try them. I had Katie try them, and it was incredible. And it was a lot of fun to take 2D content and see it in 3D. Like Samsung had that, and it worked well for some things. Like there was what was that Scottish anime? Secret of the Knolls? Secret of the Kells, I believe? And that works really well with the 2D to 3D conversion on the TV. So, are you saying with the hat, you don't see 3D, but the TV tracks you and changes the display? So at least you have some head movement in game, as if you're looking through a window. I don't know what just happened, but my heart rate jumped up. You can see it on the graph too. Woo. I lean back and do it really well. I'll make sure not to do that. So what kind of phone do you have? I think Zwift. You can do it on an iPhone like the last 3 years. And the Android's coming out. But it'll probably be like the newest devices. I'm still on the Note 4. They have an 8 out now. But they skipped 6, went to 7, that blew up, and they're calling it 8 now. They skipped some numbers there. Probably time to eat. 2 or 3% spent. Nice. Wait. X is 7. Yeah, I've been happy with the bigger phones. So I have the the HTC Evo, and that was a big phone when it came out. Had an HDMI out, had a kickstand, and people asked, does it even fit in your pocket? And now, the phones that we have, the screen itself is entirely bigger than my old Evo. Still fits in the pockets. Next phone is going to be a Windows phone. Do they still have those? Do they still make those? Okay. So I like the Surface tablet. We looked into buying one, but there was always an announcement at the time. Next one's coming out soon. And it come out, and we wouldn't need it.
Hawaiian ready?
Oh, I already chicken. Yeah. Yes, please. I'm getting hungry. I'm trying to eat gummy bears. We have these Harborough Ghost gummies, and they're a lot chewier than I expected. So I'm sitting here. I'm just waiting for this pizza. I'm getting excited. Katie's trying to figure out the pizza situation over here. The coupon is for regular priced items, and what she has in the cart is a special. And I don't mind stopping for a second to help her figure out the pizza so I can eat 10 minutes earlier. I have a bowl of candy though to hold us over until the pizza shows up. I love the pedaling every time. So I do believe on Halloween it is always night in London. I haven't seen the daytime yet. Maybe in another hour. Try it again. Okay. What's the individual price of the pizzas?
One is $40 and one is $7.
Okay, then just put it back on the family section and order it for that price. Or you can put in one of the pizzas we have in the freezer. Trying to figure out the food situation. We're both hungry. We're trying to get something ordered. I think I'm gonna preheat the oven as a backup plan, though. I'm gonna be right back. But I can finish my ride, put a pizza in, and we'll eat a lot quicker this way. So I think with ping, it's not as important. It's not who pulled the trigger first. If things start to get a little bit slow, like if I unplug my internet, the riders will continue on as they had been. They'll for a few seconds. So I think with ping, if you have a really high ping, it might be off a little bit, but it's not a huge deal. With racing, it's more of, like, I haven't seen it personally, but you might cross the line slightly ahead of another rider and find out that you lost, but I haven't seen that. So I like what Clash Royale does, to where in-game when you deploy a card, there's a wait time before the card gets played. And it might be a second or a couple seconds. And I think that's to have the exact same screen on yours as your opponent's. If there's any difference in ping, I believe they make up in that delay. So the second gives the server a chance to tell the opponent. We're figuring out the pizza. If they don't have a coupon on Papa John's, it is fortune price. And right now, I think it's like $40 total for us to get some pizzas. So we got some other pizzas, yeah. Feel free to sit down, relax. On the oven beef so I can get food going for us. I'm wondering why there's a delay in the power. I see the spike, but I'm not seeing the instant power. Checking the background stream stuff. Always making sure things are doing what they should. It's nice being able to watch the replay on the phone. I don't hear the kicker squeal as much. I've been working on the sound settings, tweaking a little bit here and there. Just trying to get the stream ready for some races. There we go. Seeing bigger numbers now. Haha. Look at my power peanut. I'm drawing all over the place. I love that display. Yeah, I want to hit 14. I think I've hit like 1396. I'm close, I'm close. Let's crank down the shoes. Really lock it in there. It's getting close. I hear the squeal that time. With Zwift, we don't have to worry about being arrow in a sprint. You do whatever you have to do to get that power out. One thing I haven't tried outside is seeing just how low I could get. I'm just trying to keep the back wheel on the ground. I'm gonna sprint and then I'm gonna hit the I need to get this guy right on. Vancouver. Hello from Seattle. Alright, I'm sprinting, sorry. The creaks and cracks from the steer tube worry me. Thankfully, I'm indoors doing 0 miles an hour. So if something were to happen, I could be done. So what's nice about the Power Peanut is it's live, and there's no way I'd be able to watch this while sprinting. But I can rewatch this video and see what's going on. What's going on with these legs? I need to do a ride where I just sprint every minute, because I really like to do that. But I don't know how beneficial that is this time of year. I'm not doing any cyclocross races. I keep trying to hit 14. It's funny, normally I see higher and higher power each time when I do this outside. Oh, my leg's out. See, I tried to do this on speed play pedals. I'm just trying to do a recovery ride. It was, I was snapping out. It might be time to increase the resistance on these pedals. Anyways, I'm gonna cross the start finish, put a pizza in the oven, and call it a night. You can do that every day here in Zwift. Was that the big power up? I don't think I've ever gotten that. Like, I think I get the Plus 10 every time. Huh, alright. Well, I'll ask on Zwift Riders Facebook. I always get the right answer from them. Oh. No new power today. Well, we'll see. We'll see about Max. Power. Oh. See, if you unplug the kicker, this is what happens: is you get the 2,000 watts for like 1 second while it dies. So I'll check Strava. I deleted that 2,000 watt ride on Strava. We'll see if I got any power. I can eat 6 slices of pizza. Good. Katie will have to get her own. Alright, well, let's save this. More power. I didn't do more power. I'll have to edit that. And yeah, thanks for hanging out, chit-chatting. Hope to see you around Watopia. Have a good ride.